In the heart of Derbyshire, a pair of identical twins have defied all odds, accomplishing what many thought was impossible. Born almost 4 months prematurely, Harry and Harley Crane entered the world at just 22 weeks and 5 days, a time when survival seemed out of reach. Weighing a mere 500 grams, just over a pound, and measuring barely 15 centimeters in length, which is about the size of a candy bar, the twins were considered too fragile to survive. Jade, their mother, had been told that she was experiencing a miscarriage. Doctors, after examining the tiny babies, declared that neither of them stood a chance. But then, something extraordinary happened. In an emotional interview with the Sunday Mirror, Jade, 39, shared the miracle she witnessed. "It was the most wonderful thing," she said, reflecting on the moment her son, Harley, let out the tiniest of cries. The room went wild, and immediately they offered treatment to save her. And Harry, who had been still inside her for an hour, with doctors believing he wouldn't make it, also began to cry when they finally checked on him. The joy was overwhelming, but Jade couldn't shake the fear that gripped her heart. Despite the harrowing uncertainty, the twins persevered. For over 110 days, they fought for their lives in the neonatal intensive care unit at Nottingham's Queen's Medical Centre. Against all expectations, Harry and Harley, now weighing 5.3 pounds, are set to be released from the ICU. In a full-circle moment of triumph, their discharge is scheduled for the very day they were originally due to arrive in the world, February 24th. This incredible story of resilience, against all odds, is proof of the strength and willpower that exists even in the tiniest of fighters. For months, Harry and Harley Crane fought a battle no one could have imagined. Born far too early, they were immediately thrust into a world of challenges: chronic lung diseases, sepsis, and 6 surgeries between them. Yet, against all odds, the twins have defied every expectation. When they first arrived, they were smaller than the length of their father's finger, barely reaching 30 centimeters, about the size of a tiny toy. But now, they've doubled in size, each growing stronger by the day. They've earned a remarkable distinction as the most premature twins to ever survive in the UK, stunning the doctors and medical staff who have watched their extraordinary journey unfold. Jade, their mother, recalls how fragile the twins seemed at first. They were so tiny, they could barely fit into the smallest diapers available, she shared. Even the tiniest clothes were too big. Harley weighed just 500 grams, less than the weight of a bag of sugar. Yet, here they are, my little warriors. The resilience of these two tiny fighters has amazed everyone. Despite their extreme prematurity, they've pushed through with unwavering strength. It's truly astounding that they've made it through everything, Jade continued, her voice filled with pride. They're not just surviving, they're smiling through it all. If they can do this, there's absolutely no limit to what they can achieve. The journey to bring these twins into the world wasn't easy. Jade and Steve, her husband, had spent years dreaming of becoming parents. After 11 years of trying, 8 cycles of IVF, and multiple rounds of frozen embryo transfers, they were finally blessed with Harley and Harry. The emotional and financial strain was immense, costing them nearly £50,000, funded through hard work and loans. When Jade first heard Harley's faint cry, she described it as the sound of a tiny kitten, a moment of pure joy and relief after years of heartache. Now, looking at their thriving children, Jade and Steve can only marvel at how far they've come. From the tiniest, most fragile beginnings to today, these twins are living proof that no dream is too big, no obstacle too great. For 3 long years, Jade and her husband tried desperately to conceive, facing heartbreaking setback after setback. Jade endured the trauma of an ectopic pregnancy, a painful condition where an embryo implants outside the uterus. The emotional toll only deepened as, by the end of 2014, Jade had suffered 3 additional miscarriages. Doctors told her she had an overactive immune system, which was rejecting the pregnancies. Despite the emotional and physical pain, Jade remained determined. "We just wanted a family so badly," she said, reflecting on the years of struggle. They had embryos frozen, and Jade was determined to give them a chance. This longing for a family led them to a renowned fertility clinic on London's Harley Street, where Jade was treated for her immune system issues. In May 2021, after their 8th IVF cycle, the impossible happened. Jade and her husband learned that not just 1, but 2 embryos had taken hold, and they were expecting twins, a boy and a girl. "I couldn't let myself believe it," Jade admits. "I was so terrified that something would go wrong, that I'd lose them too." Throughout the early stages of her pregnancy, Jade kept her excitement guarded. She purchased a few baby clothes but left the tags on, fearing that any happiness might be short-lived. "I just told myself, it's better to be safe than sorry," she confided, unwilling to allow herself to hope too much, too soon. But despite the fear, this was a dream come true, a dream Jade and her husband had fought for against all odds. And finally, after years of heartache, they were on the brink of welcoming the family they'd longed for. Kindly do us a quick favor. Please hit that like and subscribe button if you're touched by this story. Your support keeps us sharing more powerful stories as this one. Thank you. Now, let's get back to our story. On October 26, 2021, Jade's world was turned upside down when she began leaking fluid, an alarming sign that her membranes had ruptured and labor was imminent. But there was something even more terrifying about the timing. This happened 30 hours before she would reach the 23-week mark of her pregnancy. At this early stage, most doctors would typically wait until the mother reaches 24 weeks before intervening, as that's generally considered the point of viability for premature babies. But Queen's, being a teaching hospital, had a different policy. They lowered the threshold to 23 weeks, offering students a chance to learn from the rare, challenging births of premature babies. When Jade's doctors initially suspected a miscarriage, they warned her that the chance of her twins surviving was slim to none. Despite their grim prognosis, Jade couldn't shake the feeling that her babies were still alive. Her intuition was right. When Harry and Harley began showing signs of life, the doctors made the difficult decision to intervene. Just 2 hours after being rushed to the neonatal intensive care unit, the twins were placed on ventilators. Jade was finally allowed to see them for the first time, but it was an experience that left her terrified. "The doctors told me it was a miscarriage," Jade recalled, "but I knew something was wrong. I could feel them moving inside me, and I refused to accept that they'd given up." Despite her certainty, the medical team maintained there was no chance of survival for babies born at this stage. The labor came on quickly. Because of the risks, Jade wasn't given pain relief or monitoring, making the experience even more harrowing. "I remember asking, 'Where's Harley's cry?' One of the nurses told me I wouldn't hear it because she was just too early," Jade explained. But then, against all odds, Jade heard a sound, a soft, faint cry, like that of a tiny kitten. "It was Harley," Jade whispered, her voice full of emotion. It was unbelievable. An hour later, Harry arrived, still encased in his sack, a rare and auspicious event that Jade had heard of from Japan, where babies born in the sack are considered especially lucky. "I kept that good luck to myself," she smiled, still in disbelief. However, the joy was tempered with fear. Seeing her tiny, fragile babies in the NICU, so helpless and vulnerable, was overwhelming. But Jade refused to give up hope. Desperate for reassurance, She reached out to a mother in the United States who had given birth to twins at just 22 weeks, twins who were now healthy, thriving 4-year-olds. Jade held on to that story like a lifeline, refusing to let go of the dream that her twins could survive. In the early days, Jade found support in an unlikely source, a mother she connected with through Instagram. This woman, who had been through her own journey with premature twins, became Jade's lifeline. From the moment they started talking, she helped guide Jade through each daunting step, offering advice on what questions to ask the doctors, helping her navigate the overwhelming uncertainty. But the joy of their twins' birth was short-lived. Almost immediately, the doctors delivered a crushing diagnosis: necrotizing enterocolitis. It's a severe condition that attacks the digestive system and can be fatal. The reality hit hard. What was supposed to be a moment of celebration quickly turned into a whirlwind of fear and heartbreak. "They told us to prepare ourselves," Jade shared, her voice heavy with emotion. "We were instructed to call everyone we knew. They even suggested we hold a christening." But for Jade, calling it a christening felt like calling it a funeral. "It was beyond awful," she said. Yet, in the face of all the grim warnings, the twins fought back. Against all odds, they survived. They narrowly missed setting the record for the youngest set of twins to survive a preterm birth, just shy of breaking the 2018 record held by Jensen and Reuben Powell, twins born at 22 weeks and 6 days. After a month of battling in the NICU, Jade and Steve were finally able to hold their little warriors, tiny but strong, their spirits unbroken. Soon they would be able to bring them home. "We're aiming for the day I was originally due," Jade said, a spark of hope in her words. Doctors usually have guidelines based on other babies born at the same stage, but 22-weekers are so rare, there's nothing to go off of. It's like we were in uncharted waters. It was a stroke of luck that they were at Queen's Medical Center, where the staff were equipped to handle such rare cases. Jade acknowledged the randomness of it all, referring to it as a postcode lottery. If she had been at a hospital closer to home, the outcome might have been tragically different. The team at Queen's, led by matron Cheryl Griffiths and specialist Chantel Tomlinson, expressed their pride in caring for the twins, saying they were honored to be part of this incredible journey. Once the twins are home, Jade and Steve know they will need oxygen and could face ongoing challenges. But Jade remains unshaken in her belief that their children will go down in medical history. "They've impressed everyone," she said with a fierce pride. "I'm sure they'll have a ward named after them one day." These two tiny fighters, once given no chance of survival, are now symbols of resilience and hope, proving that even in the darkest moments, miracles can happen. Premature birth occurs when a baby is born more than 3 weeks before their due date, meaning before 37 weeks of pregnancy. Babies born too early often face serious medical challenges, with the risks increasing the earlier they are born. The signs of prematurity can vary, with some babies showing mild symptoms while others experience more severe complications. Common signs include a smaller size and a larger head relative to the body, along with sharper, less rounded features due to the lack of fat. Fine, soft hair called lanugo may cover much of the baby's body, and they often struggle to maintain body heat, particularly in the delivery room, due to the absence of stored fat. Breathing issues are also common, as premature babies may have difficulty breathing on their own. Additionally, they may lack the reflexes needed to suck and swallow properly, leading to difficulties with feeding and nutrition. When your baby is born prematurely, they will most likely need an extended stay in the hospital's special care unit. Depending on how critical their condition is, your baby may require the intensive support of a neonatal intensive care unit, NICU, or a less intensive intermediate care nursery. A dedicated team of doctors and specialists, all trained in caring for premature babies, will be by your baby's side. They're not just to provide care, but to answer any questions and help you navigate through this challenging time. Your baby may face struggles with feeding or adapting right after birth, but rest assured, the healthcare team will guide you through it all. They'll walk you through the necessary steps and explain your baby's individualized care plan, making sure you understand what's needed every step of the way. And with that, we come to the end of this remarkable journey. If this story touched you, please like, comment, and share it with your friends and family. Don't forget to subscribe and activate the notification bell so you'll never miss out on our future stories. We can't wait to have you join us for the next one.